Hey everyone, today on Darpan, we bring you India's water shortage. The World Health Organization says second wave of COVID-19 may not exist. And in the world of hockey, Vancouver Canucks on the ice for their first game since the shutdown. There's no easy way to say this. India is facing a profound water crisis. India's 1.3 billion people have access to only about 4% of the world's water resources, and farmers consume almost 90% of the groundwater available. As global temperatures rise and overuse of water depletes existing resources, the threat to lives and businesses in Asia's third largest economy is projected to grow. Water shortages are already acute. Nearly half the country's population faces high to extreme water stress, and about 200,000 die each year due to inadequate access to safe water. Stoked by climate change, the water crisis has forced Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government to try and turn around decades of established farming practices, the country's most powerful voting bloc, to change the crops they plant. Water guzzlers like rice and wheat are out, corn and pulses are in. For Modi, pushing farmers to change is risky business because of their sheer numbers and political power. Farm income is untaxed in the South Asian nation, and water and electricity are heavily subsidized. Lowering the minimum price at which the government buys food, grains from farmers could also backfire at the polls. Although Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party dominates parliament after a big win in last year's election, Modi needs to tread a fine balance between shifting to less water-intensive crops and ensuring his government produces enough food to feed the poor. In COVID news, the World Health Organization has warned the COVID-19 pandemic is currently unfolding in one big wave, with no evidence that it follows seasonal variations common to influenza and other coronaviruses like the common cold. Margaret Harris, WHO spokesperson, insisted that these discussions are not a helpful way to understand the spread of the disease. Quote, "People are still thinking about seasons. What we all need to get our heads around is that this is a new virus, and this one is behaving differently." She also warned against thinking in terms of virus waves, saying, "It's going to be one big wave. It's going to go up and down a bit. The best thing is to flatten it and turn it into just something lapping at your feet." The reality is that the issue of a second wave has been a contentious one, much talked about politicians, including Boris Johnson, and the media, but often very ill-defined. According to WHO, they are looking at world figures, and they are still increasing. So as a pandemic, we are in the first wave. In the world of sports, well, some great news for hockey fans. It's game day for the Canucks as they take on the Winnipeg Jets in Edmonton, hitting the ice for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic. This will be the two clubs' only exhibition game ahead of the revamped playoff format, which starts this weekend. Now, the puck drop happens between the Canucks and Jets at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe.